Welcome back to another episode of the Odyssey X series, and in this video we're going to be running through our training. We've got leg day on the cards now today. I know we done legs in Benoist there last week, but we're going to be running through my proper leg session because there was a few movements on that plan that were not usually on my regular plan because I don't usually train there, but we're going to run through the proper ones. I'll give you a bit of detail on why, what and how that we're placing things throughout the session, along with a bit of detail and a bit more detail on our pre-workout and peri-workout nutrition. We're just going to get after it for the day. What's on the agenda now? Steps, get back to clients, get a meal in, caffeinate. We need the caffeinate. And then we're going to go and get that leg session. Let's bloody get it. Alright, so meal one about to go down. The time is currently 6:54. Client messages, responded to client messages sent out. All the team being looked after. Steps on board. I'm still in a bad mood after this weekend, so I'm fucking knackered. Struggling to bring the energy to the YouTube. Come on, come on. Delts are hopping. That's all cocktail, Corona, chips, steak, burger when I got home. I was a bit overboard. Birthday and all that though, good excuse to go at it. But now we're back to the grind. I'm rambling on here. Gonna get this down, then we're gonna be going to a coffee shop, get a bit of work done. We're gonna be prepping 2 of our meals to bring with us. 1 meal to bring with us, a pre-workout. We're gonna have that in Costa. And then I will see you in the warehouse for the leg session that I'm going to be running you through. Let's go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm out of this fucking kip. See this? Every day there's some sort of handling. Cannot wait to move to somewhere where there's no traffic. Tough stuff over in Barsha. It's always flat. Even at, it's not even 8 o'clock. Usually it's a bit quieter, but I forgot the kids are back to school, which means we need to go earlier. Only 3 days left, though, it's not too bad. Very, very much looking forward to the new gaff. Yes, sir. Yes, my people, hope you can hear me okay and see me okay, because the humidity on the lens caught it when I walked out. But we are in Starbucks. Had a change of scenery for today. I usually go down to Costa, but don't know what it is. Whenever you go to one place for a certain amount of time, oh, table's moving, get used to the coffee. Whenever I change to another spot for different coffee, it's like it tastes so much nicer. So I'll probably hop back and forth, but we are gearing up for leg day. Starting off with kneeling cable crunch, 3 sets, adductors 2 sets, 3 sets on the leg extension, 2 sets on the prime seated leg curl, which is a banger of an equipment piece, 3 sets pendulum, 2 sets belt squat, then metabolic work on the leg press to finish off, which if you had have seen last week's episode, you would have seen that I still got that in toward the back end of the session. Tight going. Very, very tight going, but very, very rewarding. And it will be down the line. Plenty of quad volume, of course. We've got 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight sets of quads. Then we do have the metabolic work toward the back end then as well. I suppose you count that as, 1 set plus intensifiers off the back of it. Looking forward to it. This is the 4th time, 5th time I've actually said it during this video, but I am tired. I am really tired. It's really hit me. every time coming off the back of weekends I would drink, like sleep just, it's not even that night, it's the sleep afterwards that gets me. It's the days that follow. I sound like an old man, just getting weak. We're going to grab an energy drink. We're going to head down to the session. I haven't really decided if I'm going to do, I might just do a voiceover, be a bit easier because it's a bit awkward trying to talk in that gym, but we'll catch you down there. Enjoy the session. Welcome to the warehouse Alcuz. This is the usual training spot. Very good gym, very good vibes, more so. Only have to wrap it up the session, forgot to give an intro. So welcome to Alcuz and goodbye Alcuz. I'm going to do a voiceover of this session. Hope you enjoy. Easy session. That's a lie, that was tough, but easy. Kicking the session off with the kneeling cable crunch. You may notice I'm videoing in a different office, finally in the new apartment, which is ideal. Hopping in with the session, and I've been enjoying doing core work prior to actually going into lower body and making sure that area is like knuckled down to a T and stabilized. You'll notice that across your compound movements. Whenever you do core work prior to going into a lot of your main compound lifts, it's one thing that I've made it a good staple now to keep it in play, because I felt a lot more stabilized going into squat patterns, RDLs, stiff leg deadlift, whatever it may be. And that is a huge aspect, and a huge tip that I would give to those of you watching this is do your core work first. Particularly, we're currently running two core movements per week prior to going into the lower body and then prior to going into the lower pull. And I found that to be a massive benefit from like a performance-based standpoint. Then overall, trying to get that crunch down. Not bad. I've recently subbed in the new gym that I'm currently in, which I'm going to show you now later on this week. I'm not sure when the video will be coming out, maybe in 1 or 2 weeks time. But we will have an ab crunch machine on board for the lower body day, and then I'll probably run the kneeling cable crunch prior to going into lower pull. Adductors is a huge area for me that I need to bring up to really focus on. So like this machine's okay. The one I have now in Train SF is a lot better. Melon crushers I need to create next time we do peel back and start to peel back the layers from a visual based standpoint, because when you look at the physique, as a whole, you need to have big adductors. Like adductors play a massive part, like they're literally a part of your quad. You'd nearly class them as a part of your quad when you look at the physique, and you want to have that thigh gap as closed in as possible. Like give us so much like density when you just look at a physique on point. Never had big adductors, and I only started training them like 2 years ago as well, so they're not a strong area for me, but I'm going to keep trying to bring them up then as well. Thank God I'm away from this leg extension. You can see there I had the yoga blocks in at the bottom. I was trying to put the yoga blocks in to actually put my feet further back so I could get into the stretch. Like I'm not even getting 90-90 with my knee to my quad to calf in that bottom position, but I've got access to a better leg extension now. I actually just hit lower body in the new gym there yesterday. Bloody hell, it was a good session, which I'm really happy with. Running 3 sets on the leg extension now on lower body days. I also have 1 quad movement on my lower pull day, but we plenty of quad volume actually going in. I've seen positive benefits now coming out the back end of this diet from like a quad growth perspective, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing how we get on. One thing I don't have access to is I do have a seated hamstring curl. I think it's the Atlantis. Didn't get to use it yesterday because it was in use. But the prime one here, I have to say I will miss it, because you can adjust obviously the resistance profile on all of the prime machines to target your hamstring or whatever movement that you're currently doing in either the lengthened, the mid, the short, or the mid lengthened, and put it heavier at different stages of the lift. Which is, once again, like I nearly find that you have too many options when you're going into a prime piece. Like for those of you watching, if you've ever used a prime piece before, or a piece of prime kit, there's so many options when you're going into it. Like I think it's sometimes for me it's information overload. But where you do want to try and tax your hamstrings on a seated hamstring curl is always going to be in and around that mid to lengthen range anyway. So that's where I was loading the pin up. But once again, hamstrings are quite a strong suit for me to an extent. Like they need to improve. My whole lower body just needs to improve overall. And I feel the stretch that I have now ahead of me with the equipment that I've access to, particularly likes of the quad equipment in Train SF, I think I'm going to be able to do much better. We got the pendulum here, 3 sets in this bad boy, and I've the hammer strength one ain't bad. I had the Atlantis one there yesterday in the new gym, fucking cracking. So really happy with that. This one here is pretty good, and I've really found a groove now in the pendulum. Like, you'll see my feet are quite close in, and that's what I want. I want to try and isolate my quads as much as I can here. I couldn't really go any lower on this without my heels lifting off excessively. Like, I do have a bit of heel lift here, but I'm still able to get the connection with the quad, which is absolutely fine. But excessive heel lift can put a bit of calf into it, and we want to try and obviously isolate the quads as best we can for the purpose of this movement, for the new piece of access to. I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with my form, my intensity on this movement. Like, I know it really well. So I'm looking forward to actually running it up in the months ahead and seeing if I can just get as strong as possible, really, on it as we do go forward. This is a beauty of a piece, and I will miss this one. We don't have access to the hammer strength one anymore, but this is brilliant. Like, the actual push, I can really, and I really try to drive my knees over my quad. Like, you can see the amount of knee flexion I'm getting there, with like knees well over toes, and that's what you want when you're trying to develop quad and grow your quads, is really get as much knee over toe as you can while still pressing from the big toe on the way back up. So that's an important factor when it comes to any quad movement. Make sure that you're thinking about, whenever you get down there into the bottom position, yeah, you've stretched your quad, but now you need to contract your quad, and do not contract from the glute. Try and think about snapping your knees back while driving the main brunt of your force through your toe. Is always a good one, and that's been a game changer for my quad development as of late. This piece wasn't bad. Body hell, this metabolic work absolutely killed me. So we had 4 sets, 2.5 plates either side, 6 reps on each set, 15 seconds rest in between. Just a lovely finisher. I've never done metabolic work before. It is the first time in this split, which is ideal. Once again, I like trying out new things. I've been training quite a while now, so there's not many new things I can trial out, but metabolic work is completely new to me. And I have to say, it's just volume on top of volume, and obviously because you're doing very little rest time in between each set, you're building up a lot of stimulating reps there, which is what you want, and the stimulating reps are obviously achieved the closer you get to failure. On the second set is when you start dipping into the stimulating reps, and then you've another 2 to go to capitalize on a few more in a more fatigued state already, which is it's brilliant. I do have to say, a bit of procrastination going into the set. I'm getting better at it. It's just when I get to the second or third, I'm like 15 seconds. I'm only putting my feet up, and it turns into nearly 20 or 25 seconds. So I need to hurry that on to actually stick with it and make the 15 seconds rest consistent then across the board. But brilliant. I really like this one. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what level of progress this has from a crossover to like a muscle growth standpoint on the quads now in the months ahead. What leg press will I be using? We never even got to use the leg press there yesterday either. Can't remember what brand they actually have. This one actually wasn't bad. Like, you can do single leg in this one. Not a massive fan of a single leg press, but like, yeah, listen, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to trying it out now next week when I get an actual piece. Training at 6 a.m. in the morning at the moment, so I'm not really hanging around for pieces. So if it means that I have to miss a piece till the following week, it doesn't really bother me that much. Like, I'll just sub something in that is quite similar. But that's the brunt of the work there. We've got plenty of quads. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9 sets. Technically 9 sets. If we take our last set as 4 sets, then we've got 13 sets of quads across this day, with another 2 toward the back end of the week. There's plenty of quad volume actually going in there, and hopefully we'll be able to develop these legs now in the months ahead. Got to keep those progressions running up. Any questions on that, don't be afraid to let me know. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. Legs done and dutched. Good session, hey, very good session. In fairness, with the conditions and under the conditions, I'll take that. A few progressions, a few maintenance. Was coming in a lot more fatigued. Grabbed the C4 on the way to get a bit more caffeine into the system, along with some beta-alanine. and it did give me the push at the beginning. Kind of faded away toward the back end of the session. Obviously, you've just watched it. You've went through it with me. Very good session overall. Looking forward to running the numbers up on that. I'm moving now this Friday, so in a few days' time, to a new apartment. I don't really know where I'm going to train yet. Still have a membership in the warehouse until October, I think. The warehouse, you can go into the different gyms. Some of them are fantastic, but it'll probably be like a 25-minute drive from a good few of them. So still haven't decided yet, but we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Post-workouts, cooking away. We're having chicken, sourdough bread, banana, honey for the post-workout meal at the moment. We'll probably bring you through a full day of eating on the next video to show you my morning food, my peri-workout nutrition, along with my evening meal. Currently running 4 meals at the moment. Calories were listed in the previous video, but I can run through them again then next week. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this off-season does go. Bit all over the place with routine at the moment, just with the move this Friday. Had a few, obviously I trained at Benoist there last week for legs. Now I train back in this gym, and one thing you'll find is when you're going between different equipment and different exercise selection, your coordination will build one week, but then if you miss 1 week of it on a certain movement and a certain machine, you may come back the following week and it'll be harder to progress, because even just 1 week away, it's not that you lose any muscle, you lose strength from your coordination kind of dropping off, neurological adaptations up inside here and in here, which is obviously a massive one when it comes to just progression and stuff like that. Progression overall, that's going to be key for me. In this phase now, as we do push up and see what we can actually achieve from a muscle building aspect in this off season, which I'm looking forward to bringing you on. I'll definitely make sure to get a physique update on board now, maybe in the not next week's video, but the following video, potentially, or in and around there. We'll see. We will see what the crack is. A few calls with the team now today. Then we have our training and nutrition drop-in clinic that we've just launched inside LMK Online, where everyone can drop in with any issues with regard to training and nutrition outside of WhatsApp check-ins and our regular catch-up calls, which are going to be really, really cool to run over the next few months. So looking forward to seeing how we go on now with the team with regard to that. Got a big few months ahead. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Like, comment, subscribe and all that. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a fucking cracking day. Chat to you after.